Okay, hey guys, welcome to the YouTube live session of Great Learning. So, as you can see, today we are going to have a discussion on AngularJS, right? So, it's mostly about, what is this AngularJS and why it came into the market and how it evolved, and right now, which version of Angular we are working on. All these stuffs relating to that. Now, those of you who are already knowing something about web development and you already know what is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, this is a very great session for you. Okay. Now, before starting this session, attendees, I want you to please give me a yes or no if you can hear me properly and you can see the screen. So in the chat box, you can just put a yes so that I can understand that everything is working fine. Come on, guys, please give me a yes quickly so that I can understand that everything is going well. Okay, now, so before starting the today's session, I want you guys to tell you about a free initiative by Great Learning, which is Great Learning Academy. Now, those of you who are very frequent in our channel, you guys must be knowing about this, and you guys must be taking the courses, right? Now, those of you who don't know, you have to just search Great Learning Academy in Google. And if you scroll down, you can find an ample amount of courses here on the field of data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. And yes, you can see it's written free here. So when you enroll for the course and you complete the courses, you will get a free completion certificate. Okay. So please have a look through this Great Learning Academy. You can register yourself and go through all these courses. Now, some of you are very comfortable in Hindi language, right? So you can just click on this courses in Hindi column. You can go through that and you can just see so many courses are available in Hindi. So you can complete the course and you can get the certificate. Now, most of you are engineers, you must be knowing what is the value of adding a certificate in your resume or in your LinkedIn profiles. So go ahead and get these certificates, right? Now, let's quickly come back to our session. And this session is mostly about AngularJS. And I've already told you, those who are, have a very basic knowledge in web development, which is, hypertext markup language, CSS, and JavaScript, then this is the perfect session for you. So let's quickly, let's not waste time and let's quickly move to our agenda. What all things we'll be looking at here? So we'll be talking about the prerequisites. Those who don't know what are prerequisites is nothing but what all things we want and to continue learning with AngularJS, what all things we need, right, in the beginning. So obviously, I have already told you that we need HTML, CSS, and JS. But those of you don't know what is this HTML, CSS, and JS, we will have a simple coding of that, and I'll tell you what is it. The next is what are SPAs. SPAs means single page application. So what is the single page application? This also we are going to talk about. Meanwhile, guys, I can see the chat, in my mobile. So if you have any doubt or anything responding to this particular web development or Angular concept, then please hit the doubt and in the chat box. I will read that and I will go through it. Now, the third one is introduction to AngularJS. The fourth one is features. What all features are there in AngularJS? The fifth one is MVC architecture, which is nothing but the architecture of Angular, how it happens basically, what is the flow diagram of this. And the sixth one is environmental setup, what all things we require in our laptop to start working on Angular, right? And then Angular app fundamentals, basic things to start working on an application. And then which all companies are using AngularJS and what are the advantages of using AngularJS, right? Okay, I can understand you must be thinking of a lot of questions that why sir is taking AngularJS and there are so many versions. why sir is not taking that. So just quickly put on all these doubts in the comment section, and I'll read that and I'll guide you on that. So with that note, let's quickly move to our prerequisites and see what are the prerequisites we need. Okay, before starting this, so guys, if you are new to this channel, please hit like to this session, this video, and also please subscribe to our channel so that we can come up with lots of many more such kind of videos and sessions. So and also the topics, we are welcoming all the topics. If you have a very interesting topic in your mind, put it in the chat down below and we will work on that. Okay. Those of you are not finding the link of the Great Learning Academy, my team is already giving those link in the chat box time to time. Just keep an eye there and please click on that link and go ahead and see what is there in Great Learning Academy. Okay, let's quickly start with prerequisites. The very first thing which we need to work on Angular is having a knowledge of HTML5. Now, what is this HTML5? So HTML is nothing but a very basic language for creating a web page. A very basic normal web page if I want to create, I should have the knowledge of HTML, which is hypertext markup language. Okay. Now, hypertext markup language, see, the word meaning is very important to know. So hypertext means all the hyperlinks available in our web pages. So if you open any web page, you can see several links, right? When you click on one of the link, it takes you to another page. When you click another link, it takes you to another web page, right? So those are called as hyperlinks. And because those links are written in text format, the name hypertext, right? The name hypertext. Now the second word, markup. Why do we use markup? Okay, let me explain you by opening one of my IDE, which is Sublime. So as you can see, this Sublime Text 3. This is basically an editor, and I'm going to create a new file here. I'm going to save it in the desktop. Let me name it as session1.html. So I'm writing here .html because I want to save it as an HTML document. So I'm writing the extension here .html. Just the way we have Excel sheet, we write XLSX, right? And for PPT, we have .ppt, right? You can see here .pptx. So I'm just saving it. Now here we can basically write the whole HTML file. Now you can see these are the basic commands of hypertext markup language. Okay. So I was in the topic of markup. Like, what is the word meaning of markup? Markup means when you're marking things up, when you try to mark up anything. So suppose here I have written a title tag, right? I want to give a title to my web page. So let's say I'm giving a title, first session of AngularJS. This is the title which I've given. I'm going to save this and I'm going to copy file path, going to my Chrome, opening a new tab, pasting my particular path here, and you can see my web page is ready here. You can see the title here. This title is nothing but first session of AngularJS, which I have written in my editor. So what I'm doing, I'm marking it up, right? I'm saying that this is the title, and that's why I've written here title. So I'm marking it up. That is why the word markup. And the next word was language. So that's a very common thing. Hypertext markup language, right? I hope you understood this much. Let me show you one more thing. So if you write a P, that's a paragraph. So I can write here anything. Let's say, welcome. Okay, I'm getting some questions here. So I'm going to read that. Don't worry. I'm writing here, welcome attendees, and I'm going to close the paragraph. When I reload my page, I don't have to copy file path because already my page is open, right? So when I actually just reload my page, you can see it is printing welcome attendees. Don't worry, this is actually I have zoomed in. So basically it should be this much small. Okay. Now this is a basic HTML. Now let's move to the next prerequisite. Guys, I'll be reading your comments. Don't worry. Just keep on commenting. Let me complete one of the topic and then I'll see the chat box. So what is happening in HTML? We are adding the design, the structure to the web page, right? Next is CSS. Now, what is the CSS? The CSS is used for adding styles to the web page. Styles means coloring, borders, to make the web page look attractive. Let me take you to Sublime again. And let me write something here in CSS. So for CSS, we use the style tag. I'm going to just close it, the title, the tag. And in the style tag, I'm going to, let's say, I want to give some style in the body. And let's say I'm going to give a background color. So let me just write here background color. And I'm going to say the background color as, let's say, black. And the text color as white. Now, when I do that and I go to my Chrome and I reload my page, so the background color is black and the text is white, right? This is what is actually CSS. What is the full form of CSS? It's cascading style sheet. Okay, so I'm going to just write here cascading style sheet. This is what it is spells as. Okay, cascading style sheet. Again, if I reload my page, I'm getting the same thing. Cool. Now, so that is why I said that this is for styling the web page, right? You're styling it, you're giving colors to it. Now, the next one is JS. JS is JavaScript. So it adds behavior to the web page. So it adds behavior. What is the meaning of behavior? So if I take an example of, Facebook login page or Amazon login page, so you can see there's a login button. What happens when you click that login button? Sorry. What happens? So it actually logs in, right? And it takes you to your profile page, correct? Right? So it behaves, right? The web page is behaving. When you're pressing something or clicking something, your web page is behaving, right? And that's what the JavaScript does. Let's do something. So in Sublime, let's write JavaScript. Now see, where I have written the CSS, with a style tag, I have written it inside the head. And the script tag, which is for the JavaScript, I'm going to write it here inside the body. You can write it inside the head also, there's no problem. But I really love to write it inside body. It's very feasible here. So in the script tag, what I'm going to write, I'm going to just write document.write. Remember guys, JavaScript is a programming language. HTML and CSS is not a programming language. When you talk about Java, Python, C, C++, JavaScript, these all are programming languages, okay? Those of you who know HTML, CSS, you guys must be knowing that there is no concept such as variable or looping or a conditional statement in HTML or CSS, right? But we have these concepts like variable, data types, looping, conditional statement in all other programming languages like JavaScript, Java, Python, right? So remember that JavaScript is a programming language. Okay, it's a programming language. That is why I have to use here semicolon. Till now, I have never used the semicolon here. If you can see, I've never used a semicolon, but now I have to. So I'm just writing here, hello world. That's a very basic terminology. Whenever we try a new thing, we always write hello world, right? If you don't know the reason, research about it. Why do we actually, whenever we learn something new, we always write hello world, right? In programming concepts. Why do we do that? There is a reason. I remember it was asked to me in my interview also. So guys, it is very important. Please have a look in Google why hello world used to write, right? Now, so I've written document.write. Write is a method, and the semicolon I'm putting here because JavaScript is a programming language. And when I actually reload my page, I'm getting a hello world here. Okay, so that means I have not used an HTML here, I've used the JavaScript, right? Now, these three things knowledge is very important to start with Angular. Okay. Now, before going to the what are SPAs, let me get some questions. Okay, so is AngularJS are more popular than React.js? Okay, so there's nothing called as popular or not popular. In AngularJS is the basic building block of whatever you're working right now with React.js or Vue.js. Okay, the very first AngularJS came in 1994. It's the beginning of this era. Why we are taking this course? Because it's a basic building block. Okay, so it's not that which one is popular, but it's more like the building block. Now if you guys are beginner in coding and if you're beginner in web development, you should start with AngularJS, and slowly you will learn Angular and React.js and Vue.js. Those are nothing but the evolution of the particular language. So yes, React.js is very popular right now in market, in IT industry market. But yes, to learn that, you should have a basic knowledge of Angular, right? Bharat, I hope I have cleared your answer. Which coding is important to build software apps like Instant AM Facebook? Okay. Which coding is important to build software applications? It depends on your knowledge. Okay, you need to research about it, you need to see which particular language you want to work upon. Python can also help you out with this question. Java can also work it out. C programming can also work, but it depends on you and your research which particular language you want to work on, which particular language makes you more excited. For me it's Python, personal. So if you want to take a start from Python, which is the most demanding framework in industry right now, it's as Bharat said, it's React JS, and in 2021 also it will be React. But yes, for beginners, as I'm saying, you have to start with React. You have to know what is Angular. Okay, perfect. Can we do this on Notepad++? Yes, you can do this in Notepad++, guys. You can use Notepad also, Notepad++, any text editor. There are lots of text editor in the market. Okay, hello world, because we are new to that world. Pooja Nayak, a very good try to answer that question, but that is not the actual question. Hello, that is not the actual answer. So there is one person, and there's a story why he chose to write every time hello world. Okay, try to research about that person and you will get to know the answer. That's a homework for you guys. Okay, now let's understand what is SPAs. It's single web page application. What is a single web page application? Okay, let's have a look. Please understand this part, because this is what is very important when you are stepping into the world of Angular. Okay, so have a clear view of what is a single page application. Now guys, you must have opened many times Amazon.com, Myntra.com, these all e-commerce websites, right? Now if you go to Amazon.com and you're requesting for Amazon, www.amazon.com, what happens? It goes to the server, the request goes to the server, and from the server response comes back. But the response is only coming back for www.amazon.com, right? Now you are inside your Amazon profile. Now you're clicking on the main section. When you're clicking on the main section, again this request goes to the server and the server responds back with only the main section. Okay, suppose you're searching some item in the search box, suppose for Adidas shoe. Okay, when you click enter, it again goes to the server. Again server gives a response back for Adidas shoe. So every time you are doing clicking or you are searching for anything, it goes to the server, comes back with that particular web page, right? Every time it is happening. So that's what I've shown you here in this portion. Request, response, request for page X, response for page X. Request for an item in search box, request page with that item result, right? What is happening here? This is called as multiple page request, okay? Client page getting loaded again and again. So every time that client page is getting loaded again and again, right? And such pages are low on speed because every time you're clicking, it goes to server, comes back. Again, you're clicking, goes to server, comes back. Now it is a little bit a lengthy technique, right? Now what happens in single page? Let's take an example of Gmail. You guys must have opened Gmail many times, right? Okay, guys, don't spam the chat box. I will see your chat and I will respond. Do not spam it. I will answer it, okay? Just let me complete this particular topic first. So in single web page application, what happens? Let's take an example of Gmail. You must have opened Gmail. Whenever you open Gmail, there's a section where inbox, spam, promotion, social, these all things are there, right? But do you always reload the page for Gmail? No, right? Once you have opened the Gmail, and I can't show. So if you go to inbox when you're clicking, it doesn't go to the server and comes back. So what happens? How does this work? When you're requesting for gmail.com, the whole entire application package comes from the response, from the server as a response. Okay, the whole entire application package comes as a response from the server. So the inboxes, the sent mails, the promotions, the social, everything comes at one time. So whenever you click on social or promotion, it doesn't have to go back to the server and come back. No. So when you're requesting for www.gmail.com, the entire app package came in response. Now when you're requesting for a data, it is just you are getting the data in response. The page is not getting loaded again and again. Okay. So single request is sent to the server, not multiple requests. Only one request, which is for that www.gmail.com. Multiple data requests going to the server, but not page. Data requests are going, not page request. Client page does not get loaded again and again, so it saves time. You must be knowing that Gmail works very fast than any other websites, right? Client page is not getting loaded again and again. That's why. So these are nothing but this is called a single page application. Examples are many. Okay, gmail.com is one of the example for single web page application. Okay, why am I teaching you about single web page application? Because I want to introduce you to AngularJS. Now, before going into this, let me again take some questions. So, hello, sir. I want to become software engineer. I have completed C program. Tell me which learn next. Okay, so you want to know what to learn next. First of all, if you have taken C program and you're looking for a job, then please learn C program in a very broad manner. Go deep dive into it and learn C programming language, and then looking for a job. Okay, look for a job for a software developer and work on C language, get some real world projects, then try to shift to another language. If you're not looking for any other job and you want to try with another language, go for Java and then go for Python. Okay. Okay, so the next question, I hope I cleared your question, Arbaz. Why React JS is highly in demand than Angular? So there are lots of differences. Radul R. Dev, there are lots of differences between Angular and React. It's not very similar. If you look into React JS, you have most of the advanced technologies concept which is used in React. Okay, that I don't want to discuss it right now because there are so many people who are beginner, they won't be able to understand. Okay. The next question. Okay, what kinds of project will make a person employable in Angular or React? Single web page applications is a must, or application which is using CRUD operation like create, read, update, or delete command. If these CRUD operations applications you are creating on your own, it's a perfect project for you to get a job in Angular or React.js. Okay, perfect. Let's go to introduction to AngularJS. Now we have seen what is SPA, single page application. Now the problem is, can I use this normal HTML, CSS and JavaScript to create a single web page application? If I refine that question, so the question is JavaScript ideal for SPAs? No, only JS is not ideal for SPAs. We have variety of frameworks and libraries instead, which will make it possible for JS to create SPAs. Now, what is this framework and library? What they are saying? So we can't use only JavaScript to do it, but we can use a framework or library. Now, if some of you who don't know or you're very new to this word framework, I'll explain you. So see, to live in a house, we already have a structure of the home, right? Of the house. We have a structure. We have in one corner a kitchen, we have a washroom, we have a bedroom section, and we have a hall area, right? Everything is defined in what particular house, right? So a particular structure which is already defined is called as framework. Okay, so in programming language concept, what is the framework? It's a basic structure. So everything will be given to you. HTML, a location will be given. CSS, a location will be given to you. JavaScript, a location will be given to you. TypeScript, a location will be given to you. So everything is managed and organized. That's what is called as a framework. And Angular is a framework, okay? So we have to use this kind of frameworks to create these single page applications. Why? Because it helps in easy development and it provides basic configuration. So you don't have to go for HTML document. You're searching for it. You're searching for CSS. You're searching for JavaScript. No, everything is at one place. That is why I'm saying it is having a basic structure, right? In your home, do you have to search for your kitchen? No, right? You know where it is, right? So this is what is why we need AngularJS. Okay, this is one of the reason. You have several other reasons, but this is the main reason of why do we use AngularJS. Now, what is AngularJS? I will read the comments, guys. Keep on please giving the comments. And if you're liking the session, guys, please hit like in this video. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe so that we can give you more such kind of videos, okay? So please do that. Now, what is AngularJS? So I told you it's a framework. It's an open source framework. What is the meaning of open source? Many a times you must have heard this word open source, right? What is this open source? So that means it is free. Anybody can use it. Okay, you don't have to pay anything. So AngularJS is an open source JavaScript framework. It is maintained by Google and it uses HTML syntax to express your application component clearly. Component, they mean to say in any web page, if I show you, where is my Google? Yeah, so if I show you this page, the Great Language Academy, you can see this is one component. This header, this whole blue thing, this is a header. So this is one component. If you look at this, this is the content. So this is one component. If you see this, this is a sidebar, right? This is a sidebar where you can click and you can go to any other courses, right? So this is a one component. And at the last, you can see there's a footer also. So these are the footers, the black thing. These are nothing but the components, okay? So in the slide, it is just saying that Angular uses HTML syntax to express your application component clearly. It defines it clearly what is where. It is designed for web, desktop, and mobile platforms. It is completely written in TypeScript. What is TypeScript? We have heard of JavaScript. What is TypeScript? It's a subset of JavaScript. What is the meaning of subset? JavaScript is the whole thing. Inside that you have TypeScript. So TypeScript is nothing but the father of JavaScript, okay? So using TypeScript, JavaScript is made of. So that's what is TypeScript. And this Angular framework is totally dependent on this TypeScript language. Primarily aim to develop single web page applications. So AngularJS is primarily aimed to develop single web page application, but it is also having some other features which we will see right now. Okay. Now, let me take some questions so I can see what kind of project will. Okay, I have answered that, Rahul. Radul, sorry. Only with Angular can I get job. Viresh Patel, no. Only with Angular you can't get a job. So, as I said, the prerequisites I have mentioned. Sorry, HTML, CSS, JS. First of all, try to make a simple web page using HTML, CSS, and JS. Okay, when you are okay with it, when you know all the concept of HTML, CSS, and JS, then move to Angular and try to build one application using Angular. Okay, then that project you can put it in your resume and then try to find a job. Yes, it's a free course in Great Learning Academy. So the links are also given in the description below or in the chat box. So please just hit the link and go to Great Learning Academy page and try that. See the whole course, what all things are there. This AngularJS is necessary for front-end web development. Yes, it is very important because later on you'll be working on React.js and Vue.js, and those are the trending, booming topics right now in 2020 and 2021 era. So yes, it is really very important. Only learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript will not work out. Okay. Okay, fine. Let's move to the features of AngularJS. Now, these are some of the features. Now, looking into this, some of the topics you will not understand, okay, because there are some terms which are very new, okay. The first one is data binding, okay. Now, what is the meaning of data binding? So, when you're writing something or fetching some data from the web page, it can be fetched also. At the same time, it can be printed also. So, the synchronization of data is happening simultaneously in Angular. You can get the data and you can put the data at the same time. That's what is data binding. And in some time, I'll be showing you how to do that. So stick till the end of the session. I'll be showing you how actually this data binding works. The next one is architecture. Angular uses MVC architecture. Most of you, if you are a beginner, you must be knowing that MVC is the model view controller. And in this particular era, most of the languages are using this concept, which is model view controller concept, right? And it's not like it's gonna vanish. It will be there for coming years. So that is the architecture which we will look upon in the next session. In the next slides, directive. Directives are some of the predefined things in Angular which we use. Okay, so just like in any programming language, like in HTML, we use the tags, the elements, right? In CSS, we use the style tag. Those are predefined things. In Angular also, we have the predefined things. We call it as directives. This is not browser specific. See, if you go to HTML, CSS, those are browser specific because you can only work, HTML and CSS can only work in browsers, right? But Angular is not browser specific. Codeless, that means you have to, that is not, I do not have to explain that. So it's codeless. Speed and performance, again, I don't have to explain it. Dependency injection, it's a very high technology term. I'll make it easy for you when I'll move to the next portions. So stick to the session. Deep linking. Linking means linking many web pages together. Like I said, www.gmail.com. When you open that, you can actually link, all the web pages are linked together so that when a user or when a client is linking some web page or clicking on some web page, it doesn't go to the server. Only the data request is going to the server, not the page request. So linking is very strong there of all the web pages, right? Routing. Routing is nothing but when you click something and it goes to that web page. So The one of the feature of Angular is routing also. Productivity, I do not have to explain that word, right? Now, these are the main features. Let's, without looking into the theory, let's deep dive into and see what is this architecture, and let's see how actually we can install Angular and start working on it. So MVC is model view controller. Many of you must not be knowing the concept of this, and it's a very confusing topic, but I have used one example to make it very useful for you in a very easy manner. So I will discuss that, but let me see some questions from here. So JavaScript is taken from TypeScript, right? Yes, Krishna Srivastav, JavaScript is taken from TypeScript. Difference between Node.js and AngularJS is very different, Kajal Kumari. So Node.js is basically giving you a package manager, which is npm and all, which lets you work with Angular. Okay, so it actually lets you work with Angular. Angular is a framework which lets you write the code and make the web page application. So in a simple terminology, if I say that Node.js is the backend, but AngularJS is the front end. If in a simple term, you have to understand. Okay. Only with Angular can I get job, and can you cover Angular 2 to 11? Okay. Only with Angular can I get job. I have already answered that in this live session. So just go back and see what I have told. And can you cover Angular 2 to 11? So yes, we are coming up with a course of Angular. Just wait for it. Someday, I mean, maybe after some time, you will get a course on Angular. So don't worry about that. Just subscribe to the channel so that you will get a notification that Angular course is live. I hope I covered your question, Viresh Patel. Yes, Mahesh. Great Learning app is free to learn. You can just download the Great Learning app from the Play Store. If you're not getting the link, the link is given in the description, in the video description. So just go there and check that out. Okay, let's understand what is MVC. Very hot topic of any particular framework if you see. So what is this MVC? Model view controller, okay? Let's understand with an example of a restaurant. So in a restaurant, we have three things: the customer, waiter, and the chef, okay? Customer comes in the restaurant and it tells the waiter what does he want. So customer actually tells the waiter he wants a tea. The waiter goes to the kitchen and tells the chef that the customer wants the tea, can you please prepare it? And the chef works with these all ingredients: milk, tea leaves, water, sugar, cardamom, and extra things, whatever you like in your tea, right? So those all things he use and he prepare the tea. Okay, he gives it back to the waiter gives it to the customer. Very easy. This is what happens. Now tell me one thing: who is actually getting um, the view? Who is getting actually the output? The customer, right? The customer is actually getting the tea which he requested for. The same thing happens from our side. I am a client and I want a web page to open. I request it from the server gives me that, right? So I am the view, right? The screen is the view, the web page is the view. Okay, who is controlling here everything? Who is controlling everything here? Waiter. Waiter is going to the customer and asking the whatever item he wants, and he goes to the chef and he tells him that what he has to do. So waiter is the controller. He controls everything. And who is actually preparing that tea? That is prepared by the chef, right? So that's the model. How is he preparing it? What thing is he putting and at what time? Like, what is the equation? What is the logic written there? That's the model, right? Now you will ask me, then what is this ingredients? These ingredients are nothing but the data which the chef is using to prepare the tea. So in a simple manner, if you look at this diagram, the view is nothing but the web page which I'm looking into. The controller is the behind thing, how it controls the server, the program, everything. That's the controller. And the model is nothing but the logic, the building block logic of the program. What is the logic of that program? That is nothing but the model. And the model uses the data to write that logic. Simple. Once again, I'm going to repeat this quickly. So view is nothing but whatever web page I can see it from my eyes in my laptop, that web page, that is the view, right? That is the front end thing. The controller is nothing but controlling the back end and the front end and the server, everything. That's the controller. And the model is the logic building, the logic of the code, which uses the data. Okay. So this is the basic architecture of MVC, model view controller. And the information is passing from view to controller, from model to controller, from controller to model, and from controller to view. It always happens. And that's how Gmail works. See, if when you open the Gmail, that's the view. When you click something, controller is controlling those things, those clicking. And the model is the logic which you have written in the code. Okay. Okay, we have done a lot of theory things. Now, in last 15 minutes, we are going to start with the practical implementation. So we are going to see how basically we can do an environmental setup of Angular and how we can, what we have to download, how we can write the program, these all things. So many of you are asking that we need Node.js or not. So yes, we have to install Node.js and npm. How you will get it? So you have to just go to this link. Okay, this is nodejs.org. So or else otherwise you can just write here .js download. Okay, when you go there, you can see here download.nodejs. This is what is the link here which I have written in the PPT in the slide. So check out which particular system you have. You have Windows or Mac OS and just download it, the newest version. Now, how will you check whether you have Node.js or not? So write cmd in start, you will get a command prompt. I hope those who are coder and beginner in coding field, you must be knowing what is command prompt. Click on that, you will get this kind of black screen. I don't know if you can see it. You should be able to. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write here node -v. What is the meaning of -v? I hope you all can see my command prompt. So node -v means what is the version of the node which I'm using. So if I enter, I'm getting the version 14.15.1. That particular version I've downloaded. See, if it is not downloaded in your system, you'll get an error here. You will get that node term is not recognized. Okay, so when you're downloading your node, automatically npm also gets downloaded. npm is node package manager. Okay, I'll tell you why do we use node package manager. Now to check its version, you have to write the same thing, npm -v. When you do that, you'll get the version here also. So it's 6.14.8 for me. It's an npm version number, right? Now you will ask me, sir, why do we need npm? Why do we need node, right? So let me show you that. Now we have verified that which Node.js and what npm we are using in our system. Why do we need Node.js now? So if you see at this diagram, basically the web browser only understands JavaScript. Okay, the web browser, any web browser, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, anything, it actually understands only JavaScript. Okay, and we will be writing our code in TypeScript. So it's a very obvious thing that if I give this TypeScript to my web browser, he's gonna not understand. They are not going to understand, right? So we have to convert our TypeScript into JavaScript. Okay. Now, how do we convert this TypeScript into JavaScript? So we can use a transpiler. Just the way we have a translator in our normal languages, right? So we have transpiler, which actually converts one language to another, which is TypeScript to JavaScript, and this transpiler needs Node.js to convert TypeScript into JavaScript. So transpiler needs Node.js, and that is why we download Node.js, so that when we are writing a TypeScript code, it gets converted into JavaScript very easily and we will not get in any error. Right? Okay. So now we have downloaded the Node.js and we have already got the npm with it. So we have to install now Angular CLI. Angular CLI is Angular command line interface. Okay, it's very important because you have downloaded the Node.js, but you don't have an access to Angular directives. Remember, I told you the directives, the predefined things. So you need access to these directives, right? So that's why we have to write this command npm install -g at Angular CLI in our command prompt. Once you do that, you will get installed your Angular. I have already done it, so I don't have to do it again. Now, after that, what to do? So let me show you how do we actually get into our first application of Node.js. Okay, so please stick to this session. I'm going to create a particular project here. Okay, how do we create the project? What you have to do, guys, first of all, go to the desktop. Suppose I want to create the project in the desktop. I'm going to the desktop. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, in the desktop, I'm going to create a new project. Okay, so I'm writing ng. ng is the Angular command. Okay, so ng is the Angular command. Always whenever you're writing any command, you have to write ng. I'm writing ng new, and I'm going to give the name of the application as first app. ng new first app, and it's going to load, going to ask some questions. I'll just put yes. It is asking for me to take CSS, SCSS or SAS. I'm going to work with CSS, and it is installing my project right now. So it will take some time to install the project. Let me show you in the slide what I have written. So this is what I'm doing. Have a look. Once Angular CLI is installed, create a new application. So I'm creating a new application by ng new and then the name of the application. My name of the application was first app. So I did that. Once the application is created, go to the application folder and run the command ng serve to serve the application. Let's see whether my project is completed or not. So it's still installing the packages. Let's read the comments till then. Okay. So sir, for beginner, what type of language is to start? For beginner, you can start working with C programming language or Java programming language. If you are looking into a programming language, and if you want to make it more easy, then start with web development, which will be, HTML or CSS. Start with that. Okay, I think my packages are installed. My project is installed. Now I'm going to go inside my project. What was my project name? It was first app. So I'm writing cd first app. Now I'm inside my project. What it told me to write? It told me to write ng serve, right? So I'm going to write here ng serve. And once I write that, what will happen? It will start compiling my code. But you will tell me that you have not written any code, sir. So what is it actually compiling? It is compiling the default code which is given by Angular. Okay, I'll show you. So let me minimize this. Let it compile. Let it compile. You can see it is compiling all my Angular commands and my whatever code I have written, the Angular default code. Everything is getting building and compiling here, you can see. So you can see only 3 to 4 commands and it's done. Now see, it says compiled successfully, and you can see it's written Angular live development server is listening on localhost 4200. open your browser on HTTP localhost 4200. So let's see what is there in this particular localhost. So this is what is the Angular default project. Can you see what is written here? First app is running. That is my application name, right? That is my application name. First app is running. Correct? This is what I'm trying to say, that this is my application which is running right now. And if you see in my folder, I have created the folder in the desktop, right? Can you see this? So this is the folder which is created. And this is my Angular folder for my project. Okay. Now it's very complicated to see it from here, right? You can't find the HTML files and all, right? It's very complicated. So let's do one thing. Let me open it in Visual Studio Code. Now, what is Visual Studio Code? So let me open my command prompt and let me go to my desktop and to my application which I created. Now, once I write here code dot, I am just writing code and then dot, okay? When I do that and hit enter, it will open my Visual Studio Code. So this Visual Studio Code is a software which I have installed. Okay, you can also install. Just go to Google and type here Visual Studio Code, download, and get to the first link. You can find here this particular Windows or Mac, whatever you have. Just click on 64-bit, looking into your properties of the laptop or system, and you can download this. So now if I open my Visual Studio, can you see? I have my application commands and all the files here. Remember I told you about a framework? Remember I told you that in a framework you will have the HTML, the CSS, the JavaScript, the TypeScript. Now you can see here I have the HTML. The whole code is written here. This code is for this web page. Okay. And then I have the CSS. You can see the CSS. I have the TypeScript. I have the component TypeScript. Everything I have it here. Okay. Now let me do one thing. So I will close this particular thing and I'll close this CMD also, the command prompt. And let me show you how do you actually run this code from your Visual Studio. So from your Visual Studio Code, how can you run this? You have to go to view, you have to go to terminal, you have to open the terminal. You can see here the same thing is coming which was coming in command prompt. If you can see down, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so this is the same thing which is coming, right? In the command prompt also we have the same thing. Now here what you have to write, you have to write here npm start. So as soon as you write npm start, it will start compiling, okay, in the Visual Studio Code, and it will give you again the same link, localhost 4200. 4200 is the port number. So in that port number, my application is actually running. Okay, so you can see compiled successfully, and you're getting this link. So I don't have to copy it actually. You can actually click here. So when I click on this particular link, it is opening my 4200 and here it is written first app is running. Right? So, and also I want to show you something. So I have written here this title equal to first app, right? I can change this and I can make it as my name. I can write here my name. Actually, this title is getting, okay, so this particular title is having the CSS and the module. So you can see this particular command index.html. This is the first HTML starting web page. Okay, from here only everything is starting. So this is the main.ts file. This is the index.html file. And then these are my TypeScript, and my all other files. Okay, now let's see. This is very confusing, right? Too many files here. Let's see in the presentation what all things are given. Then we will come back. So in the project structure, we can see this was there. Let's understand what is it. Okay. So you can see here 4 files here: CSS, HTML, spec.ts, and ts, which is TypeScript. These are the root project folder. All components will reside here. Everything, whatever your web page you want, every coding of those things will come here. Okay, whatever you want in HTML, put it there. Whatever you want in CSS, put it there. Then comes this assets, this asset folder. If you can see, in this asset folder, you put all the images or the CSS files, whatever you want to include in your web page. Those all things I'll put in the asset folder. And the very main thing, very starting point of the application is this index.html and main.ts. So these are the entry point or the starting point of the application. From here only everything starts. Okay. Now, how does it start? So if I go to main.ts, now guys, please understand, if I go to main.ts, you can see here what is written: bootstrap module app module. It is saying that from here, please bootstrap the module named as app module. Where is app module here? Here is app module. So this particular file is actually bootstrapping this app.module, and it goes here. Now here also this file is bootstrapping app component file. So main.ts is bootstrapping module.ts. Module.ts is bootstrapping app component.ts, which is here. And here I have written title Ritvik Raj, right? So here I have written title equal to Ritvik Raj. And this is what in HTML I have written the web page things, and CSS I have written all the CSS things. So this is what is called as the starting of Angular app. How it is starting? The first main.ts file is entry point. It goes to app.module, then it goes to app.component, and then it goes to app.component.html. So you can see how it is structured. You have all the things in line by line. So that is why it is called as framework. You have HTML also, you have TypeScript also, you have JavaScript also, everything, right? Now, this is what I've shown you, bootstrapping the app module. This is how the app module is getting bootstrapped. And here also, this is how the app component is getting bootstrapped. Bootstrap meaning is nothing but opening of another file, or you are kicking it off. So you are kicking the another file to start working, right? Let me take some questions. I have taken a lot of practical thing. Okay, so by the help of Node.js, I had designed the library management. Okay, that's perfect. You have made one of the project, Deepak, with AngularJS. So I can do the same thing. Yes, you can do it. It will actually give the front end part of it. So you can work with that, Deepak. Can I run JavaScript at Atom ID, or it require Node.js? Kajal, you can run your JavaScript at Atom ID. Okay. There are 4 very basic IDs which you can use: Atom, WebStorm, Visual Studio, and Sublime. The best one is Visual Studio, but yes, you can use Atom ID also. Every AngularJS needs Node.js, so you have to install Node.js. Perfect. So let's see the few last topics. Companies using AngularJS. What all the companies are there who are using AngularJS? The names are very famous and very knowing social networking websites also. Those are using AngularJS. Now these all websites are nothing but single web page application. So if you go and open Flipkart, it's a single web page application. Gmail, Upwork, PayPal, Samsung, YouTube. YouTube, you must be knowing that whenever you click something, it doesn't go to server. Basically, you are just requesting for the data. You're not requesting for the page, right? When you search something in the YouTube, you're actually searching for the data. You're not searching for the one page, right? The whole page. Nike, Sony, HBO, Microsoft Office. These all are some of the applications which are built using AngularJS. Okay. Microsoft Office is not a web page. So Microsoft Office is just a standalone application which we use, and AngularJS is used to create that. What are the advantages of AngularJS? There are some advantages which I have written here, but before reading that, sir, I have joined the class right now. Vittel S, no problem. This particular session will be there in our YouTube videos. So you can go there after 10 minutes and you can see the whole video again. How Angular works in backend Python language. Um, it's a very simple thing. So how do you use Java as a backend? You can use Python as a backend. AngularJS will be your front end, and you can just pass all your data and CRUD operations, whatever you want to do with Python. Okay, there are some commands which we can use to connect, and you can have a JSON file which you can pass the data from. So you're good to go then. Now, there are some advantages which we have to see before closing this session. So there are number of errors or issues will be minimal. Okay, you will not get a lot of errors when you're coding with an open source framework like AngularJS. It's a two-way binding. Remember I showed you where I changed the name from first app to Ritvik Raj? It was binding the data, right? So the data was synchronized. That's what is two-way binding. Routing. Routing means moving from one web page to another. So it is very easy for making single web page applications like Gmail. So that's one of your best advantage of AngularJS. It supports both unit testing and integration testing. So yes, you can do testing also in this kind of applications. And directives. Directives I've showed you: ng new, ng serve. These are the directives. These are the commands which we use in Angular to actually make the application work. So ng serve, ng new, these are two directives which I've shown you. There are many more: ng if, ng for. There are lots of many more directives. Okay. If you want to know the directives, go to AngularJS website and click on directives. You will get all the directives which are there. So it provides its own library and directives, which makes it more easy to use and code. Okay. So this was the introduction to whole AngularJS concept, and I have showed you the environmental setup also. How does it work and what actually you do, or how do you write the program and how do you get the output. Your first default program of Angular we have shown you with the port number 4200. Quickly go and open your laptop, try this thing, and again work on it. As I said, we will be coming with the full course. So stick to Great Learning channel, subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you'll get notified. And thank you so much for this particular session, guys. I'll meet you very soon. Bye-bye.